Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. So recently I was asked to put together some short tutorial videos for Dorico. These are the type of subjects that you would be interested in, especially if you were getting used to or digging in to Dorico. And at this point I've got about 60 of these short videos detailing a lot of the basics of what you do as you're getting started. So I've decided to compile these into a few videos, so I'm not going to put like all 60 in one video because that's way too long, but breaking these up into some other segments just to show some real basic answers to some simple questions in Dorico. And hopefully these will be easy for you to understand and implement within your own work in Dorico. Now I'm working with Dorico 5, but a lot of this would carry over if you were working with Dorico 4 as well. So stay tuned through this series because there's quite a few different videos. They'll be covering a whole lot of different subjects, everything that you would have to deal with in starting to write a new piece in Dorico 5. So thanks for checking this out and enjoy. And hopefully these are helpful for you, so be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel. You can also become a member and support what we're doing here on this channel. But in the description below, you'll see a whole lineup with timestamps of each of the different tutorial videos and what they are answering. So this is part 1, enjoy. So this is a Dorico project. This is brand new. We don't have much in here. Right here, at the top, this is our setup mode. This is where we can add instruments. So if we click down here, we get the opportunity to add different instruments. So we could just type in here violin, and then we can double click that and we could see it's added a violin in here for us. Our next mode is write mode over here. And this is where we would write in any of our notes. We've seen before that we have our notes, our lengths to select from, as well as articulations. There's also a menu over here on the right where we can control dynamics or other options. But we would be writing in this mode. And to do that, we just double click, and then we have the ability to write. Engrave mode is where we can impact kind of the layout of the page, or other frames like text frames. Play mode is an area where we can impact MIDI or the mixer. We can also press play in our write mode. So if we were to select this measure, we could press play up here, or we could press P on our playing keyboard. And the final is print. And here you could print to a specific printer. Up here, there's a drop-down menu to select a printer. But if you just want a PDF, all you have to do is select graphics, and then we could print from there. We're going to add our time signature. So we're going to, in write mode, select the measure, and we are going to go over here to the right, and this 3/4 is the time signatures, and we can select any one we want. We'll go ahead and add 4/4, and it has now changed our measure to 4/4. We could also change it to 3/4 or anything else. Another way we can do this is if we are selecting our measure and we do Shift plus M, we get this popover for time signatures. And in here we could just type 4/4, hit enter, and it changes our time signature. I'll do that again, Shift plus M, and then we go 5/4, and it changes our time signature. We are going to add measures to our music here by selecting the empty measure in here. And over here on the right, we're going to select this spot, the bars and bar lines. And now we could add measures. We can add them to the end of the flow or the end of the piece. We could add them to the start of flow or the beginning of the piece, or we could add them to the start of selection. So first, let's add them to the end of flow. And we're going to set this to 4 measures and then click Insert Bars. We now have 4 extra bars. Here, in our third measure, if we wanted to insert more measures in between, we would select Start of Selection, and now we'll add 1 measure, and you can see we added one just before. To add a pickup measure, we're going to select here, just select in the measure. We're going to do Shift and M, as in monkey, and now we would type in whatever our time signature is. Right now we're in 5/4, so we will type 5/4, and then we would put in how many beats we want as a pickup measure. So we'll do comma 1. So now we get a 5/4 with 1 beat before the rest of the start. Now if we wanted to do that differently, we could do Shift plus M, and then we'll do 5/4 again, comma 2, and you see we get 2 beats as a pickup. To zoom in and out of our piece here, we can hold Control and then move the mouse wheel to zoom in and out. Let's add some notes. So I'm going to select this first measure, and I'm going to hit Enter. And this places the caret at the beginning of the measure. If I was to double click, it would place the caret to the closest spot in the measure from where the mouse was. Up here we have the resolution grid, the rhythmic resolution grid. This is controlled in the bottom left corner, right here, where we have all of these different note selections. So if we wanted to see 1/8 notes, we would select 1/8 notes, and now you can see we're seeing 1/8 notes within the grid. This doesn't impact how many notes you can put in, it's just showing you the lines, somewhat similar to the Finale speedy entry. So we're going to set this to quarter notes. And I'm going to use my arrow keys on my keyboard to move us back left to the first beat. Now if I want to enter my notes, I can just use my physical keyboard. To enter notes, I'm going to double click into my measure, and now that I have quarter notes selected, I'm going to type the letter on my physical keyboard, E, and it's put it down here. If I wanted that to be up an octave, I could just do Control plus Alt plus the arrow up to move it up the octave, or Control plus Alt down to move it back down the octave. If I wanted to move this note up or down, I could hold Alt and then use the arrow keys. The next note I enter will land where this caret is. So let's put in a C. And now if I want to change the duration of the note, over here on the left, I could click and select any one of these. Let's select 1/8 notes. And now I will type B and A. And Dorico, for the most part, tends to place the notes that you enter close within range to the previous note, so it shouldn't jump it very far away. But if, let's say, the next note is an F, let's hit F on the keyboard. Perhaps we wanted the F up here. We would just hold Control, Alt, and then the arrow up to move it up. If we then wanted to leave a rest here and start playing on beat 5, we could just move the arrow. And this would move us wherever we want to input our next note. So now I'll hit F again, and you can see it placed it on beat 5. Another way to change your notes is by using your keyboard number pad. So for example, if I was to select this note here, and I am in write mode, I can use one of the numbers on my number pad to change the duration of the note. This is a bit faster than using the menu on the left. To enter dynamics, we just need to select a note. Whichever note is highlighted, if we go over here to the right, we can input a dynamic. Now, another way we could do that is we could select a note and then do Shift plus D to get the popover for dynamics, and we could put an F, and now we have a forte. We could also use the popover to do gradual dynamics. So I'm going to select these 3 notes, and all I'm going to do is Shift plus the large to small caret. I could have done the opposite caret as well. Shift, and then put that in. And this looks like the carets that are above the comma and the period. To input some articulations, we don't have to use the menu over here, but we could. So let's select these first 2 quarter notes. Over here on the left, we could select this slur. Another way we could have done that is to select this and just hit the letter S. And now it automatically adds a slur. And perhaps we want this whole section here to have an overarching slur. We'll just hit the letter S on our keyboard and it adds it in. These 2 notes, we want these to be staccato. So we're going to select these, and over here on our left, we could put this in and add it that way, or we could use another way, which is using the bracket keys. So let's turn this one off. And now I'm going to use the left bracket. That gives me an accent. Or the right bracket. That gives me a staccato. If I wanted to get rid of the accent, I would hit the left bracket again. Same thing to get rid of the staccato. Hit the right bracket again. Thanks so much for checking this out. Hopefully part 1 of these Dorico tutorials was really helpful for you. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, let me know what questions you have and what you want to see covered in Dorico 5. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.